Okay. All right. So I'm Allison. I am also known as your virtual dietitian, and I have 24 years experience as a registered dietitian. Today's actually Dietitian's Day, so woohoo, big celebration. And I went and advanced my career in knowledge in culinary medicine because I've always been very passionate that food is medicine, and what we eat does affect our bodies either in a positive or in a negative way. So today I really want to talk about our gut health. And there's really three things that affect our gut health, three main things. Inflammation is one, microbiome imbalance, and intestinal permeability. We're really going to focus more on the inflammation part today. And we do have a gut health protocol launching next week where we address all those things. But for the sake of time, I just wanted to focus on one of the topics today. So without further ado, so basically we are going to, I'm going to be teaching on the topic, and then I'm going to do one recipe demonstration. And then we're going to have a Q&A if you have any questions, and I will talk about our exciting new program that's coming out. All right. So perhaps there's no single phenomenon that contributes more to the medical burden in industrial societies than non-resolving inflammation. And it seems that the way we have evolved and our food supply is really affecting our gut and how inflamed we are. So So we're going to talk about anti-inflammatory compounds, what causes inflammation, and share some recipes. So inflammation can cause a whole slew of chronic disease, namely like cardiovascular disease, autoimmune disease, diabetes, cancer, metabolic disorders, obesity, neurological diseases, depression, and things like that. If you go through like a major trauma, whether it be physical or emotional, it really can have a traumatic effect on your gut and inflammation in your microbiome. So we want to try and pay attention and try and reduce inflammation as much as we possibly can. But inflammation is a vital part of our body. So it's our natural immune response to protect and heal our body against something that is harmful to us. So you know how when you get a fever, your temperature rises. That's our body's natural way of fighting off infection. So we do need some degree of inflammation, and it's the way it helps get our body back to the normal homeostasis level. So, you know, with your wounds and stuff, you have a big bloody boo-boo, and then it will develop a scab, and it's an inflammatory response and eventually leads to recovery. So it is important to have inflammation, but the types of inflammation is what is key. Acute is our natural response, but chronic inflammation is where we have some damaging effects because it's prolonged inflammation, and our body's inflammatory cells actually can harm other cells in our body, and it's turned on permanently. So we want to try and reduce that. And sorry, I'm getting a call from school. So causes of acute inflammation can be like a bug bite, stubbing your toe and getting the skin pierced, illness, fever, sore throat, like COVID. Chronic can be things like food insensitivities, toxins, poor diet, eating a lot of processed foods and a lot of meats, and having bad sleep habits, like not getting enough sleep or sleeping poorly, environmental things, that toxins that we use in our home, and stress and exercise. Believe it or not, if you are actually inflamed, even if you are working out as much as you possibly can, like you're running a 5K a day and 45 minutes with weights, if your body is inflamed and having gut issues, it's not going to help you lose weight necessarily. It's actually going to harm you and cause more inflammation and make you feeling like you're defeated. So we want to pay attention when we're having situations where we feel that we're having some gut inflammation, and maybe do a lower impact workout during those periods of time to help reduce that extra burden and reduce the inflammation. Signs of possible chronic inflammation is visceral fat, fat around the abdomen, elevated blood sugars, um, digestive problems, feeling bloated, gassy, diarrhea, constipation. As a dietitian, I talk about poop all the time with my patients. It's really the report card telling you how your internal digestive system is working. So it's important to pay attention to that. The teenage boys in my clinic when I used to work in the hospital loved when I talked about poop. And fatigue, brain fogginess, moodiness, like if somebody, like little things can completely set you off. Gingivitis in your gums, skin problems, breaking out more frequently. I know when I was going through a stressful time in my life, going through my divorce, all of a sudden I had all this acne and rashes on my body, and it was an inflammatory response to the stress going on inside my body. And I mentioned brain fog as well. So there are ways that you can figure out if you have chronic inflammation by doing some lab tests and things like that, and they can be related to specific diseases. And doctors will often prescribe medicinal cures for reducing inflammation. And sometimes that can lead to more problems. So I'm not saying don't ever take medication, but why not try a food first approach to help reduce inflammation and get a good, healthy gut microbiome so that you could be the healthiest and fight off infection and have a healthier gut digestive system. So an anti-inflammatory diet is something I would recommend. It's appropriate in calories for your height and weight, and it's low in processed carbohydrates. I believe we need carbohydrates. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, carbohydrates are bad. No, you just need to find the right carbohydrates, and you want to find foods that are high in fiber and high in mono and polyunsaturated fats and higher in omega-3 fatty acids than omega-6 and high in polyphenols. Now, you're probably like, what the heck does that mean? So let me share with you. Whole carbohydrates help stabilize your blood sugar. So you're going to find those in your fiber-filled berries. I love blackberries. Things that have like a lot of seeds, those are really high in fiber. And your melons, carrots, really all your veggies. Cabbage is great, cruciferous vegetables. And you want to reduce the amount of processed carbs, which are the convenience foods, things that you could buy in a 7-Eleven per se. So your potato chips, your pretzels, cookies, and cereals and sugary beverages and things like that are the ones that you want to try and limit as much as possible. And the high fiber foods are important because they kind of act like a roto-rooter, and they like cling to all the toxins in your body and help get it out of your system. So as women, we need 21 grams of fiber if we're over 50. I'm approaching that soon, in 3 years. 25 grams if you're under 50. If you're a man, you need 38 grams. Okay, what does that mean? One apple is about 2 to 3 grams of fiber. So that means you really got to be intentional and try to consume a lot of different high fiber foods. Where are these high fiber foods found? The majority of them are in plant sources. So plants are whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, spices and herbs, legumes, beans, things like that. So having a variety of those things in your diet are really good to help fuel and feed that gut microbiome. There is a study where if you had 30 or more different plants in a week, your gut health is primed and great, and compared to someone that just had the same old food every single week, or same 10 items every other week. So your fats, you want to focus on moly and polyunsaturated fats, and that you can see are from the plant-based sources and from fatty fish. Walnuts are really great for that as well. And the bottom is the chia seeds. And you want to try and limit the saturated fats. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a donut. I'm not saying you can't have French fries, but you want to try and be mindful of it. And is it worth it? Is it worth the opportunity? And if it's my kid's birthday or my birthday, yeah, I'm going to eat the cake, and that's fine. But I was getting into a bad habit of eating steaks more frequently than I normally would, because my husband, I'm newly married 2.5 years ago, he loves steak. Well, I just got my lab work back and my cholesterol is high. So that's telling me I need to, reduce some of these saturated fats for overall health. Our ratio of omega-3 fatty acids and omega-6 fatty acids needs to be around a 1-to-4 ratio. For 1 part omega-3 is 4 parts omega-6. But the United States, our ratios typically are 1-to-20, and that leads to inflammation. So where can we find omega-3 sources so we can boost up that amount so our ratios aren't so off balance? Those are going to be your fatty fishes, chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds. Now, I know fish is amazing for you. It's so healthy and great. I hate fish. I don't like the taste of it and the texture of it. So for me, I would try and incorporate more plant-based sources, like add some chia seeds to my, I can make it overnight oats with chia seeds. I can add it to my smoothie, or I could take a supplement if I need to. And with the flax seeds for the omega-3s, you really need to make sure they're ground, because if you take whole flax seeds, you're just going to poop it out and your body's not going to digest it. So the omega-6s are these fats that you often find in a lot of the processed foods because they're less expensive for the farmers to make because they're subsidized by the government. So they're cheap. So the food companies want to use them because they're cheap. And then that leads to more inflammation in our bodies because we're eating the convenience foods and not eating the better, healthier omega-3 fatty foods. And these are some food sources that are really rich in antioxidants. The carotenoids help with disease prevention and they're immune boosters. The polyphenols look like a fun group. They've got the chocolate and the wine in there, and they protect against oxidative stress and reduce inflammation. Indoles, I'm not sure if I'm saying that properly, but they stimulate the detoxifying enzymes in your gut and your liver. And the lignans are cancer prevention, heart health, and help reduce the chance of mental health or Alzheimer's, brain issues. And their curcuminoids are like the turmeric. That's a powerful antioxidant as well. So as you can see here, getting those 30 different varieties of plant-based sources in a week really is going to help give you a huge variety of different antioxidants that have a different purpose for your overall health. And special mention about supplements. I mentioned before, if you don't like fish, it's okay to take an omega-3 fatty acid. So that will help reduce inflammation. Some people may need some digestive enzymes, and that will help increase the bioavailability of the nutrients that you eat. As we age, sometimes our digestive enzymes are not working at optimal levels, so you need to take it a couple in pill form to supplement it. So, and our new program does incorporate digestive enzymes to see if this is something that's going to work for you. Vitamin D helps reduce inflammation. I think everybody should be taking vitamin D supplementation. And so vitamin D is very important to help with that. And it's hard to overdose on vitamin D. Like the range is 30 to 100. And I just had my testing done, and I think it was like 45, and my doctor recommended I take more. So I've never seen anyone overdose in vitamin D. And then a probiotic is really important to help the balance of the bacteria in your gut. But the key is you want to make sure you're getting a good probiotic, because there's a lot of probiotics out there. There's a lot of food products that have probiotics in there, but they're often dead before they reach your lips. And if they're alive, they're dead when they get to the stomach acid. So you want to make sure it's something that is going to pass the stomach acid to get to the intestine to populate the good bacteria to keep a healthy balance. When you have an imbalance of your good and bad bacteria in your gut, that's what is called dysbiosis, and that leads to a whole slew of health and gut issues. So having a high quality probiotic is absolutely key. And the probiotic I like is called Bacillus coagulans. That is a probiotic that I've been taking for the last 8 years. It's in my Shakeology, my vegan Shakeology, and whey Shakeology that I take on a daily basis. And it also is in our supplement that's going to be utilized with the gut health protocol. So even getting an extra boost of that is going to be really awesome. And when I started drinking Shakeology, I was like, I'm not drinking a shake. I like to eat my food. But I look at it as this is not necessary. It's a food. It tastes delicious. It tastes like a Wendy's Frosty to me. But it's my multivitamin and my probiotics. So it's kind of like an insurance policy to get my gut healthy. And it really did help curb my cravings. I used to drink a 2 liter of Diet Pepsi by noon a day. I know, it's terrible. And then in the afternoon, I switched to Crystal Light. So all that artificial junk was wreaking havoc on my gut. And it was, I just had so many cravings for it. Once I started taking this probiotic that's in Shakeology, after 2 weeks, I couldn't stand the taste of the overall high sugary sweetness of the Diet Pepsi. And I haven't had one in 7.5 years. I tried it once just to see, was that a fluke? Do I really not like it? Can't stand it. So that was a big help. Okay, so I'm going to take a break in between telling you, before I tell you more about the gut health protocol. And I want to do a little cooking demo because I like to show people how it's not that difficult to incorporate. I'm going to stop sharing here. It's not that difficult to incorporate different plants in your diet. Sometimes you just need inspiration. And with our gut health, with all of our programs that we do, we provide recipes, meal plans, and cooking demonstrations on our platform. And as a culinary medicine specialist, I couldn't do a presentation without doing a recipe for you guys. And I'm going to be doing a simple quinoa tabbouleh today. And so I'm using the quinoa as the I guess you would call it a carby source, but it's a complete protein. It's from the plant protein. So I'm putting in a cup of the quinoa, and I like to measure out, so because you could go overboard in any of the ingredients. Now vegetables, I don't care. You can load it up with the veggies. That's totally fine. But quinoa is high in fiber. It's a complete protein, and it can help with your cholesterol, which I'm happy about, and help with blood sugar levels, and has antioxidants in it. I'm going to be using some yellow pepper in there, and pepper actually has more vitamin C in it compared to oranges. There's 169% of your daily recommended intake in sweet pepper. So that's a really good way to help be an immune booster as well. And then cucumbers is next, and it provides a good amount of fiber, and it promotes regularity because it's high water content as well. So you what? So that it helps with promoting the digestive system, like clearing the stool and stuff. And the tomatoes have lycopene in it, and that can help reduce cancers. And it has fiber. It helps improve skin health and decreases heart disease, and like I said, cancer. It's also good for prostate cancer as well. I'm going to add some onions. Onions help fight inflammation. It has something called allicin in it, and named after me, and it helps to reduce triglycerides and cholesterol, another thing I like about it. And then I've got, I wanted to tell you, my quinoa was red, bright color. So I found this red quinoa, and I just bought this because colors mean to me more antioxidants. So I wanted to try the colorful one, and it looks prettier in the bowl. And then the parsley, I'm adding a bunch of chopped parsley as well to this. Now, when you're storing your parsley, I recommend you store it in a glass jar with some water in it. Don't have any of the leaves in the water because it'll go bad faster. But this has been in my fridge for probably 3 weeks, and it's run its course. It's pretty much at the end, but that lasted a really long time compared to if I just had it laying flat. It would go bad within a few days. So parsley's got a lot of antioxidants and vitamin K, which will help with bone health, and it's an antibacterial. So I'm just going to move all this around. And next, I'm going to add the papitas, the pumpkin seeds. So you want to make sure you measure out pumpkin seeds, because if you go overboard, it could be a lot of calories. So the pumpkin seeds give it a nice little crunch, and it's got loads of antioxidants. It's high in magnesium, which can help with sleeping and with stooling. And it's got it's high in fiber as well. So that's another added bonus. And this is looking delicious. So I'm just gonna stir this up. And so next, to make the dressing, I like saving my old glass jars from different things. So I make all my salad dressings in something like this because I could just shake it up and it helps it emulsify. I already put 5 tablespoons of olive oil, which is a good monounsaturated fat. This is a little tool I love because I can pour things in and not get it all over the place. I'm cheating and using minced garlic out of a container. So I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic. It's got some antimicrobial, antibacterial properties to it and delicious. So adding that. And here is my reamer. I like this one because it's very strong and powerful. And did you know that you put your cut side down in your citrus reamer to get the most juice out of it? And we're going to take the juice of 2 lemons and put that in there. The lemons have a lot of vitamin C in it, and the garlic and the olive oil are anti-inflammatory as well. Now, when you have vitamin C with iron, it helps. Vitamin C, woo, I got squirted all over you. The vitamin C helps you absorb your iron better, whereas calcium and will help inhibit iron absorption. So it's great to have citrus with your meats versus drinking milk with your meats, because it can inhibit iron absorption. When I worked in the hospital, there was a kid that drank so much milk and he was super anemic, and it was because he drank like 60 ounces of milk a day. It's like, no, you can't do that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna shake up my dressing so it emulsifies. So there you go. And I'm gonna start with a little bit. I don't need to use this whole entire thing, and I'm gonna eat it to taste. Make sure it's all coated, and if I want to add it, if you're serving it to people, you put it on the side, and they could add more if they want to. So totally up to you. And this is one thing before we get out of the cooking demo part. I wanted to show you this tool. This is a bench scraper. So I did chop up all my vegetables in advance because that's what's called mise en place if you're a chef. And it makes it so much easier when you have everything already ready to go. So you just kind of assemble it together. And then you know if you're missing some things too. So, all right, so this is, whoa, I'm making a mess. So there's that. I love it. So, oh, good. Another culinary girl in here too. So this is my dish. So this supposedly serves 4, but I think that's a lot. We'll see. So that supposedly serves 4 and absolutely delicious. So let me come back. Any questions so far?
Hey, Allison, it's Mia.
Hey.
Hey, I have a question in regard to probiotics because, you hear about kefir as well, which I just recently started. I tried. It was like at my local farmers, like kind of like a Whole Foods, but like a farmer's market. And I really liked it because it was homemade. It was like these people that made it. And there's so many things out there. It's hard to know what's a really good brand and what's a not. Do you know anything that you can recommend for kefir?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look at the label. That's the thing. So, and when if it being like made from at a farmer's market, a lot of times those are really, really, really good because they don't have a lot of preservatives and stuff, but I can't really make a recommendation without looking at labels and stuff like that, or talking to the source of who's making it. But farmer's market, I love. They have like the least amount of preservatives, and it's often like you get the veggies and fruit and animal proteins from local sources and not being traveled from all over other countries to you. So I recommend shopping at a farmer's market as often as you can, because you're really going to get the peak of freshness and talk to the farmers and know, are they using pesticides and things like that? Is it truly organic? So a lot of times they're making it, or it is organic, they just don't pay for the labeling. So you can talk to them and you might get an incredible deal on higher quality fruits and vegetables and meats and not have to pay the premium price that you would in a big like Whole Foods or a grocery store like that.
Okay, great. And my like second question really quick is leaky gut, because I know that a lot of people, are susceptible to it, especially with the American diet. And that's something that I've always been concerned about for myself. And it's like, okay, unless you get tested for it, or how do you know its symptoms or what you can do to prevent it? If you can talk
The
about that.
Okay, so leaky gut is something that is due to gut imbalance in your bacteria, inflammation, and things like that. So with this new gut health protocol, what we are doing is we are studying our bodies and how our bodies react to different foods. And if someone were to tell you you can never have this again, that I wouldn't trust that, because unless you have a food allergy. So if you completely eliminate things from your diet long term, if you were to introduce it like 6 months down the road, it will be harder to reintroduce. So with this gut health protocol that we're launching next week, we're going to talk about all those different aspects about digestive health to know what the symptoms are, what foods may trigger it, and talk about, hey, let's like kind of eliminate this and see how you feel. You're going to journal everything because everybody's different. How I react to something is going to be completely different to how you react to it. So you're going to journal, like, how'd you sleep? How'd you feel? Did you have a stomach ache? How many poops? What did it look like? All that stuff to kind of determine what foods are triggers, if you have any triggers, and also supporting your digestion and absorbing your nutrients by taking digestive enzymes and probiotics as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let me go back to sharing. All right. Okay, so it's time to feel great again. So are you feeling, whoa, hold on. So are you feeling like you have horrible stomach pain, gas, either you're running to the bathroom several times a day, or it can go days without pooping? Are you exercising, eating clean, but not losing the weight? A lot of times you're not absorbing the nutrients because you have something going on inside your gut that needs to be addressed so that you're able to absorb the nutrients, and then you'll be able to start seeing some comfort and reduction in bloat and some weight loss once your gut has been properly healed. And these are pictures from the people that are in the test group that just went through this 4-week gut protocol. And it's kind of small, but I'm pretty impressed with the decrease in bloat. And a lot of these people talked about not just how they felt physically by losing weight and inches, but also their sleep patterns were so much better. Their skin was clearer. They were just more zen and calm, because in this program, we talk a lot about just like stress reduction, because stress really is bad on your gut, and giving you tools like meditations and relaxation, also low impact exercise, because we know if you are in an inflamed state, exercising hardcore is actually going to be more detrimental to you. So doesn't mean you got to be low impact forever, just while you're working on healing your gut if you are having an issue with your gut. So 70% of Americans have undiagnosed food sensitivities. So this protocol is going to help navigate through some of the common triggers to see if you are having an insensitivity. I know for me, I once a quarter will go on a 3-day vegan reset. And when on day 4, when I go back to eating some animal protein, not even anything hardcore, just like chicken, I feel it. It's not like ouch or pain, but I'm like, oh, I feel different. I feel that digestion. So I notice it. So you're going to be like really researching and studying your body and how different foods trigger you to know, is it something that you can tolerate now, or is it something you need to kind of work on? Okay. And then it's more than just a diet. Like I said, we're going to be talking about stress reduction and low impact exercise. But the cool thing is we have so many different resources for recipes to have you fuel your body with delicious foods and it not feel like you're missing out. I mean, that beautiful, colorful salad is gorgeous. And I was looking at the recipe database, and they had these onion petals. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to make that. Like, it's like a bloomin' onion, but healthier. So there's going to be like so many different recipes for you to choose from to try throughout the program as well. And then these are things that the test group people were saying they really appreciated, that we walked through a program to tell you exactly what to eat. It's going to talk about food groups. We're going to just really say, okay, this is what your plan is, and this, we're going to see how your body reacts to it, and then eventually reintroduce some things and see how you do. And if you're not one that eats a lot of fruits and vegetables, you'll be starting to eat more fruits and vegetables. And let's see. Okay, this was very profound. I was just listening to this podcast where Dr. B, he wrote the book Fiber Fueled, was a guest, and he said that gut health should be the #1 goal of all humans, independent of whether or not you have health issues. If you wait for symptoms to manifest, which is how you identify you have a problem, you're waiting for a bomb to already go off and clean up the mess. You can diffuse the bomb right now so it never goes off. And the way you do that is by enhancing your gut health. And the way you enhance your gut health is by incorporating more plants into your diet, reducing stress, and incorporating probiotics that are going to help populate the good bacteria, taking digestive enzymes if your body needs it, and just eliminating triggers that are affecting you. So this is what our gut health protocol looks like. It is for people that are new to us and don't already have existing on-demand fitness membership with our Beachbody On Demand. You would get annual access to all the fitness programs. So once you get through and heal your gut and are feeling great and you want to move to a different activity, you've got it. We have everything from yoga, meditation, Pilates, to HIIT training, spin classes, bar. We have everything in there. Kickboxing, lots of stuff. And then it also is going to include the the probiotic and the digestive enzymes. Shakeology, which is our superfood shake, has over 70 phytonutrients in it, plus that high quality probiotic. You'll get the portion controlled containers so that when you're learning the new food groups for this gut health protocol, you know the volumes of each food group that you are able to have. This is not a restrictive diet. We will fuel you and make sure you have enough calories. You'll get a core ball, which will be helpful for the exercises. 30 days of Beachbody On Demand Interactive, our live platform, shaker cup, all this other stuff. Both a nutrition education program. So once you heal your gut, then you can move on and do Portion Fix, which is a portion control program, or you could do the intuitive eating dietitian created program, To Be Mindset. If you already have Beachbody On Demand, the price is a little bit less expensive because you don't need Beachbody On Demand because you already have it. So those are the packages. This is not available until Tuesday, the 15th. And what I'm planning on doing, I'm purchasing it and I'm going to be starting it on April 4th because I have 2 trips that I'm going on right now, and I really want to dig into it and read all the information and figure out the best way to support my clients to get the better results and to feel supported. So we're going to probably do a little bit of prep work before the April 3rd to understand the portion control containers and food groups and things like that. But we will do it together and go through the 4 weeks together and see how great we can feel when we focus on how our our gut reacts to different foods. So any questions? Anybody here dealing with current GI discomfort? All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, I will post this in the, you're just excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it works for my body as well, because you just don't know until you try it, right? So I'm definitely going to do it. I don't feel that I have major GI issues, but I do know I need to change up a few things in my diet, and I'm excited to study how I react to certain things. Cause you know, the story about the frog in the pot of water, that if you take a frog and you put it in a pot of water and then you put it on the stove and you start boiling it slowly, like raising the heat slowly, the frog won't even realize that he is burning up. And if you throw him in the pot when it's already boiling, obviously he'll know. So when that's kind of true with inflammation. So if it's a slow burn over time. So by the time you're actually feeling it, you might be so inflamed that you're trying to put out, you know, the bomb that already went off. So by making some changes through this gut health protocol, just like when I feel eating animal protein after 3 days of eating a vegan diet, I could feel something. I'm looking forward to seeing what foods I notice a difference in. Any other questions, comments? Are vegan, yeah?
So really quick. So I think one of the things that I had, because I have done an elimination diet for my asthma, which was really key to finding out what was causing or triggering my asthma. But it really is necessary to know your body and the foods that are good for it. But I also noticed that I wasn't having bowel movements as much, right? So what is considered, how often should you be having a bowel movement? And then are you taking supplements to help you, like magnesium or different things to help you with that?
With bowel movement should be at least like once to twice a day. And there's a Bristol chart for bowel movements where it's 1 through 7 and 4 is right in the middle. And that's like you have the urgency to go, you feel, you go to the bathroom and you completely empty and it's kind of like relief. That's like the ideal stooling pattern. If people are constipated, sometimes they won't go for a couple of days, but then they might have some diarrhea, and that could be due to some stool lodged in there and the poop's kind of trickling over around the sides of it, causing diarrhea. So it's kind of confusing to the patient and the clinician, like, well, what's going on? Is it diarrhea or constipation? Magnesium definitely does help. I don't recommend doing the stimulants like Senna and Senecot and things like that, because then you use that as a crutch. And when you take that away, then you're back where you're at and you're not able to go on your own. So increasing the plant-based sources like magnesiums in those pumpkin seeds, I'm getting some food sources of magnesium, but maybe if you need some magnesium supplementation, you could do that. That's something you would have to talk to your doctor for him to condone it. But the digestive enzymes will help as well, because I used to work in a cystic fibrosis center, and almost all my patients were on digestive enzymes because they truly couldn't digest their food. And if they didn't take it, it wreaked havoc on their GI system. So as we age, our digestive enzymes aren't working as well. It makes sense to kind of complement it with a little bit of extra enzymes. And if it doesn't work for you, then you eliminate it. But if it does enhance it and you're stooling regularly, that's awesome. Because every time you poop, you're getting rid of toxins in your body. So the goal is you really want to poop at least once or twice a day.
Okay, thanks. I wasn't sure because I don't think I poop that often. So.
Maybe with incorporating more fiber-filled plant-based foods and digestive enzymes and the probiotic as well, you might see it. I know once I started drinking Shakeology and it has that probiotic in it, my stools got so regular and normal and not hard. And it was like, this is awesome. I feel lighter and just good.
Okay,
So,
thanks, Allison.
you're welcome. Any other questions? And in this, the program is going to be video based. So there's 9 videos. I think that if you were to binge watch all the videos, it would be an hour long. So it's not, going to take up too much of your time, but it's a lot of good knowledge in there. And we're going to have an accountability group in a special app where we are going to be like, answering questions and helping. And I'm always available to answer questions when it comes to nutrition and culinary health. So I will be available as well. I'll be going through the program with you guys as well too. Shakeology has helped you so much is yes, totally, for sure. How long have you been drinking Shakeology, Jane? I've been drinking it for almost probably 8 years. Yeah, 8 years. It's been good. 6 years. Awesome. All right. Well, any other questions before we go? I'm going to put this video in the group. So if you know of anybody that is suffering from any GI discomfort, please ask them to join the group and tag them in that in the post. Once I do it, I'll probably be able to post it tomorrow. But I only touched really on inflammation. There's also the dysbiosis that will go in more depth with the gut health protocol and the gut permeability. So that's like the leaky gut stuff. So there's other things. It just would be like, I'd be talking forever, and we're going to be going through it with the gut health protocol as well. So I hope you found this helpful, and find ways to add extra plants into your diet. And I love seeing you guys here, and thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. Bye, guys.
Bye, Allison.
Thank you.
Bye.